Hey, thanks for joining me at Craft with Kathie. I have a really cool project for tonight using this beautiful transfer and this amazing found surface. Isn't this absolutely beautiful? I considered whitewashing it. It's lightly whitewashed right now, and I considered actually putting some paint on it, and I've been kind of up in the air, but I'm going to go with it as it is, and we'll see how it turns out. Worst comes to worst, I'll just paint it over and do it again. That's one of the nice things about our chalk paste. On many surfaces, it actually is erasable. Not on wood because it's porous, but on chalkboard, dry erase board, glass, mirror, metal. Spritz it with water and remove it. But on wood, because wood is porous, you might have an issue with that. So the best way around it is to paint it. Now, because I'm working on a wood surface, a found wood surface, I am going to apply a thin layer of surface wax to act as a barrier between the actual surface and the paint and possible wood splinters and my transfer, because our transfers are adhesive backed, reusable 8 to 12 times or more. So I'm laying down a thin coat of surface wax, just rubbing it in, and then I'm basically going to wipe any excess off. You don't have to wait. Some people wax the night before. I just do it this way, and I haven't had any issues. So like I said, the wax acts as a little bit of a barrier protecting the back of your transfer, the adhesive backing. How cool is that? This is our surface wax that I'm using. It comes in a small container and it is scent free. I absolutely love it because I don't like the smell of most waxes. They give me a headache, and this doesn't. And it's a nice small container so that it does not dry out. The 12 by 18 inch transfer. Our transfers run all different sizes from 5 by 7 up to, I'm thinking, 18 by 24, if I remember correctly. But this is our 12 by 18. Fits perfectly on this board. I'm going to move the board out of the way and take my transfer out of the packaging. And then I'll get started on this. I'm thinking mainly like a forest green and our shimmer. Shimmer what? I can't think of the name. Oh goodness, shimmer crimson. Or possibly the copper. I don't know. I've gone back and forth in this. Like I said, I'm a little up in the air. I guess it depends how it shows up on the background. I was actually thinking copper, but being that so much of the actual wood color is showing through on this surface, I was thinking no, the copper might just blend in too much. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, our transfers are made out of vinyl, which is the teal, and silk screen, and you're seeing through the silk screen onto the backer sheet. Remember I said our transfers are adhesive backed and reusable. So I'm going to pull this off of its backing. See how sticky it is? You can see the shiny side is sticky. And I'm going to do what's called fuzzing to my transfer. And fuzzing just means applying some lint to the back of it to lessen the adhesiveness. And you might say, well, why would I want to do that? Well, on certain things like cloth or fabric, you don't need to. But basically what I want to do is make it not quite as sticky, because when I'm done using it or I'm done chalking on it, I don't want it to stick so snugly that it's difficult to lift up. And usually I do this the other way. I put my transfer on my fuzzing towel. And our fuzzing cloth has two sides. One that's like a terry, the other that's a microfiber. And you always want to fuzz on the terry. So I'm just going to lift it up. Usually with larger transfers like this, I only lift up one side or half of one side at a time and then lift the other, just so that I don't run the risk of having it stick to itself. because like I said, it is adhesive back and it could get stuck to itself. If that happens, just be patient and gently try and pry it apart. Pry is probably a little bit too extreme of a word. You want to gently pull it apart or nudge it apart, if you will. If you can't do that, if it really seems like it's stuck too snugly to itself, bring it over to the sink and run some cool water over it and just try pulling it gently apart as the water runs over it. That usually works really well. So I basically fuzz this like 3 times. I'm going to lift it off my transfer, get my surface back here. I want to make sure where my top is. There's a sawtooth hanger up here, so this is my top. And I'm going to just fit, oops, nothing like doing it upside down. And turn that around. I'm going to go with exactly where it fits in the margin up here at the top, and the bottom is going to be a little bit over the edge, but that's fine for what I'm thinking here. Okay, and you want to smooth it down, make sure there are no air bubbles. You don't want any air bubbles in your silk screen. Sometimes you could see, sometimes you could feel, it works better. If you do have an air bubble, like there seems like there's a little one here, just lift it up and then smooth it down and get rid of the air bubble. If there is an air bubble and you apply the paste, it's not going to go through as smoothly as if there is no air bubble. And the whole benefit of the silk screen is the clarity and the beautiful crispness of the image and the fonts. A little air bubble here underneath that bird. I don't think I'm putting the birds on this. I think I'm going to leave them off. If I decide I want them on, I can always go back and add them on. Oops, we've got a big air bubble there. Make sure this is nice and smooth. If you have an air bubble in the teal part, we don't really care because you're not applying paste there, so it doesn't matter, but you don't want it underneath your silk screen. Okay. So I'm thinking using the forest and the meadow for the foliage and the leaves, the shimmer crimson for the berries, and some of the wording. So let's get started. And I'm going to use the paste and peel method on this so that I don't have an issue with the paste drying in my transfer as we go along. Just want to kind of get everything on camera. Here we go. Okay, that's good. So let's start here at the bottom. I could start at the top with just whatever. So I'm going to use my squeegee, grab some paste, and I've already checked all my paste before I started to make sure they were the proper consistency. Your paste should always be between like a yogurt and a sour cream texture to it. I'm smoothing it over, removing the excess, and then I'm going to, well, actually I'm going to do, think about this, I'm going to do the Be Your Family in the forest green also, so let me do that. And then I'll do the paste and peel where I lift it up so that it doesn't dry before I go on to the next color. You want to always make sure you get all of it covered. I'm trying to be careful there and don't want to run into my script. Okay, I think that's fine. I'm going to lift it, take a look at it. Oh, isn't that beautiful? How clear this is. Now I missed a little bit at the very top of the Y, so I'm going to lay that back down and just go over that Y. Perfect. So I'm going to just leave it up for a second, move my paste over here, switch over, oh, yeah, I'm going to switch over to my shimmer crimson. I'm going to kind of dough from the bottom up with this. And all you really have to do is have it up for a moment and then just kind of drop it back down. I'm not going to press it down, just going to drop it back down. I want to make sure I didn't lift up anything here, no air bubbles. And I'm going to go on to my shimmer crimson. Now our shimmer pastes are a little bit different from our regular paste. They have some shine, not quite like glitter, but they are very pretty. They take a little bit longer to dry than our regular paste. And as it dries, you'll see the shimmer kind of brighten up a little bit. This seems a little thick. I stirred it up. I thought it was fine, but with all my delays, and I'm really bad about forgetting the cap off of things. Just want to get in there, get the bottom of my lettering. So I might need to thin this down a little bit. And I'll talk about how you thin down your paste. It's really easy. No big mystery to it. Not a lot of requirements. Okay. Smooth it out. I'm going to lift it up. Now the font on this is intentionally distressed, so it looks a little obviously distressed here, but I just wanted to check it, make sure everything's good. Hold that up for a moment, and then I could just let it fall back down before I go on to the next part. I am going to thin down my shimmer crimson with a little bit of distilled water. I'm going to spritz it, but I don't want to spritz it on top of my surface that I'm working on, so let me go off camera here for a moment. Add a little water to it. I want to stir it up. You want to use distilled water because you do not want any issues with the chemicals or the minerals or whatever in your tap water interfering with the pigmentation of the paste. I think I need a little bit more water there. So just stir it up. If it is too thin, if it becomes too thin, then all you have to do is leave the cap off until it thickens up a little bit. I think this is good. Okay. So let me do some more of my wording here from No Ear Bubbles. You can see how quickly this goes. So this is the paste and peel. Just paste a little bit, peel it up, check it out. Go on to the next spot. Oops. You know what? I'm going to do my shimmer here. It's such a little area to peel up. I think I could do this quick enough that it's not a problem. Kind of an awkward angle for me to be doing this. Normally I would turn it towards me as I worked on it. Get the paste off of the back there. A little bit of paste goes a long way. Got that all covered. Smooth it out, remove the excess. And let me lift it up and we'll take a look. Oh, looks pretty good. I missed the B down here, so I'm going to let it fall back down, come back, catch the bottom of my B. Sometimes I'm in too much of a hurry and I don't notice. Ah, that fixed it. And I think I could use a little bit more of my shimmer here on this. Might have been a little bit too light of a touch there. Yeah, much better. What do you think? I think the colors are holding their own on that background. So that's good. I was just afraid of they might be blending a little bit too much in with the brown or the tan, if you will. So that's great. Oops, a little air bubble there. I just kind of pushed it away, so that's good. And just continue in this manner. Now we do have different tools that you could use for getting into tight spots. I'm using our mini squeegee here I could actually be using our multi-tool or our detail tool. And I usually keep my spray bottle at the ready. It's great if I need to use it for thinning out my paste or anything, cleaning up a mess on my surface, but also very good for cleaning my fingers. Okay, I moved away a little bit from the table and I thought I saw an air bubble. No, it looks fine. Okay, just me. Ooh, I grabbed an awful lot of paste there. Get right to the bottom of that Y, but I didn't want to run into my forest green. Okay, smoothing it out, removing the excess. Let's peel that up and take a look. Bad placement of the knot in this wood, unfortunately, but it's real wood. I missed the little top of the S. I'm going to lay it down and come back over there with the S again. Right here. Let's take a look at that. Perfect. Okay. Oops. Time to clean my fingers again. What can I say? Move my water and we'll kind of get down to the last little pieces of this. I want to be careful I don't bump my bird or get paste anywhere that I don't want with this. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of maneuvering to make it easier for me to get at what I need to here. It seems like it works much easier for me when I pull my squeegee towards myself instead of working away from myself. Just a little bit more control over it. Now we also have placement tape, so if you're in a tight spot and you don't want to actually paste something or get paste on something you weren't intending on, then you could use our placement tape to mark off the area. That works really nice. And I could have obviously done that with the birds. Oops, I might be a little off camera here. Sorry about that. I'm going a little bit slower than I intended, and I could see that my paste is starting to dry here. So let me kind of get that cleaned up and lift it up. Oh, that looks good. Very good. Okay, let me set that back down. Now I want to do the berries in my shimmer crimson, and I want to do the leaves back in the forest, the darker green. So let me clean the squeegee once again, and then we'll get this wrapped up. There are so many beautiful holiday transfers and winter transfers right now. I'm just absolutely amazed by them. So many ideas swirling through my mind, and I really need to kind of figure out, narrow down some of them a little bit. So I don't think I'm going to be able to complete everything that I'm thinking of. Never know. Okay, now I have to figure out how to get in there and get that red, the shimmer. So I'm just continuing in the same fashion, applying the paste a section at a time, lifting it up, setting it back down. If I see any errors, I correct them, and then just go to the next portion. Looking pretty good. Oops, I missed a little bit up in the top, or on the, well, in the top part of the foliage. Let me go back in there and get that again. A little bit better. Let's add a little bit more. Easy peasy. If you can butter toast, you can chalk. How do you like that? I do have a couple areas that are missing things. I'm going to go back over with the shimmer crimson again to darken up my wording. And this area in here, I just wasn't sure what color that I wanted to go with the bird, so I was a little, I wasn't a little iffy. Look at, I probably didn't hit enough of this L. So I am going to clean up my transfer, lay it down, do a little bit of fine tuning, and I'll post the finished picture once I finish fine-tuning things a little bit more. Let me know if you think I should add the birds or not. And not, look at here. Whoops, I missed part of that. Okay, so let me clean my transfer, do a little repair work here. Basically all I'm going to do is clean the transfer, let it dry, lay it back down again, catch what I missed, and I'll be done with it. But let me know what you think about the birds, and maybe I'll add them, maybe I won't. Let's see if I can get a little consensus. Once the shimmer crimson dried, it didn't really have enough sparkle, and I realized it must have been too thick when I used it. I had thinned it down, but not quite enough. So I thinned it down a little bit and then went over it again. What do you think? Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to share it. And of course, hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified of future postings. Thank you again for watching. See you soon.